guys, so I'm starting off today by actually cleaning up my brows before filling in my brows. I do this when I'm really growing them out and I just need a better marker to where I'm going to apply the actual brow product. So I'm using MAC Studio Finish Concealer and I'm using the shade NC20 and I'm just blending that out with a Benefit concealer brush, and then I'm also going to be using my finger to kind of warm up the product, and this just helps spread it out a lot easier. And then to prime my eyes, I'm using MAC Soft Ochre Paint Pot. This is just like my trusty, my tried and true, like the one that I always use. I love that it cancels out all of the discoloration, and as long as I'm using my eye cream, it doesn't dry me out. Now I'm using Ebony from Anastasia Beverly Hills. This is the Dip Brow Pomade. I'm using a Zoeva wing liner brush, and I'm basically just carving out the shape that I want. Today we're going for bold brows. When I think fall, I think bold brows for some reason, and I guess because we're doing like darker makeup and just warmer makeup, I like a good deep dark brow. Now I do have really dark hair, so I'm using the shade Ebony, and again I'm just carving out the brows. I'm not really filling in the brow with this because I feel like then it just doesn't look realistic. So to actually fill in the brow, I'm using powder, and I'm using the Anastasia Beverly Hills powders in dark brown, ebony, and soft brown. So I like using ebony at the tail, dark brown kind of like in the middle, and also a little bit in the front, and then soft brown right in the initial start of my brow. I know it seems like a lot, but I'm really trying to fake a brow, so I'm using short strokes, and you basically just want to follow the direction of where the hair is going. So in the front, my hairs go up rather than sideways, so I like to just kind of brush up, and then the rest of it pretty much is just side to side, and this is just going to give me the brow that I like. And now we're going to be jumping into eyeshadows. I'm using my customized Makeup Forever eyeshadow palette, and the first shade that I'm throwing down is Makeup Forever M510. I love this shadow. It is the greatest, just like first initial color to set your primer and to use all over the lid. Like I really love this one, and I'm using a Dose of Colors blending brush, which I do really love. And then I'm using the Makeup Forever eyeshadow in M664. Also top two, like these are my two most used eyeshadows for Makeup Forever. So this one is a 664 and it's a matte warm color. Now I do have trouble finding a transition color from Makeup Forever, something like this but just a little bit lighter. So what I do is I just use a really light hand and I kind of circularly blend that into my crease to create a transition shade. If I dip my brush into the product and go straight onto the eye, it's a little bit too warm, a little too dark, but you can still make it work. I think for a transition color, you do have to use a really light hand with this one, but I do love the undertone. I did buy like a grayish one and I just wasn't feeling it. It just looked really muddy on my eyes personally. This one is a little bit more cool tone, but it's not as cool as that one that I was talking about. So this one is the M636, and I'm like using this to basically just deepen up my crease, and we're going to be applying a color all over the lid, so it's okay if you get it on the lid a little bit. And I'm using a Wayne Goss brush. I love Wayne Goss brushes. That one was number 4. And now I'm using this really pretty cranberry, it's such a gorgeous color, and it's the Makeup Forever M846. It's like cranberry, reddish, pinkish. It's just perfect. It just literally looks like the perfect cranberry shade. And I'm using a Vera brush. I love this brush because it's dual ended. One side is a little thicker, and so I like to just pat on the majority of my lid, but then the other little side is perfect for that little detail work. And because I do have smaller eyelids, like I need small detail brushes, and this one's perfect because it has two sides and it really packs on the color. So I applied a couple of layers of that, and then I'm going back in with that Wayne Goss number 4 brush with nothing else on the brush, just to kind of blend that in, and just circular motions and also wind wiper motions, and that's just going to help blend it all out, make it look a little bit cleaner. Now I'm using the Melt Cosmetics Blur shade. I love the shade with that same Dose of Colors blending brush, just to kind of blend everything a little more. Now you can do like a traditional black liner, you could do a brown liner, but I wanted to go for something different. I'm doing this bronzy kind of liner. So this is from Tarte, and the color is Spirit Animal. It's one of their clay pots. Now I do want to play around with like other types of like chrome metal-ish liners because I absolutely loved it. It wasn't harsh on my eye. It gave my eye like a little bit of a twinkle, and it just looks different and unique, and I really like that. So I'm using a Zoeva wing liner brush. With this kind of product, I did have to layer a couple of times to get the intensity that I wanted, but that's okay. It probably has to do with the fact that I have like a burgundy shade underneath it, so I did have to do like 3 or 4 layers of it. But, you know, just take your time with it and really like layer it up and add on as much as you want. It can be sheer or it can be super bold. Again, you could do a regular traditional black liner. I just like how this looks. It just kind of reminds me of fall, like pumpkin spice latte, because it's like gold and copper. So now I'm just applying some black liner. This one's from Ardency Inn. Lately, my eyes have just been really sensitive to any liner, and it's just, I don't know what it is, maybe allergies or something, but now I'm just using some mascara. This one's from Maybelline, and it's awesome. It's one of their, it's like the Lash Sensational, like the fluffy one. It's so good. I'll leave it listed down below. But I'm going to be applying some falsies, you already know. So I'm applying my primer and some under eye prep. I used the Benefit Porefessional. I used a little bit of the Fast Response Eye Cream underneath my eyes. And I also used some lip conditioner from MAC. For my lashes, I'm using these Blinking Beaute lashes, design number 1. And these are gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous lashes. These were my last pair of Blinking Beaute lashes, and it like killed me to use them because they're so pretty. And I didn't want anything too dramatic, so I went with those. Now for my foundation, I'm testing out this new Smashbox foundation. I'm using shades 2.2 and 2.3. 2.2 was nice. It was just a little more golden, and then I used a little bit of 2.3 to kind of just neutralize it. In the bottle, they look really, really like orange and very warm, but on my skin, they had like the perfect amount of golden undertones and yellow undertones. I'm curious to see if I have an even better match. So I'm gonna have to go into Sephora and check it out, maybe like in the 1 point something shade range, because I did have to go really light with my concealer to kind of counteract the fact that the foundation was a little bit darker than me. So I'm using also the new Smashbox Studio Skin 24-hour waterproof concealer in the shade Light Neutral, and I'm basically being really generous with this, and I really, really love how both of these performed. They lasted all day, all night. They made my skin look hydrated but matte at the same time because I did set it, and the concealer blended like a dream. And as you can see, like, look, it just lifted the eye area so much. I am using a really light shade, but it was very forgiving and very blendable, and I really loved it. It didn't emphasize my pores, the foundation, like it didn't oxidize, like it just looked great, but most importantly, it felt comfortable all day. I wore it for a ton of hours and it was nice. So I'll just keep using it and I'll let you know any updates. I just baked with some Laura Mercier powder, and then to set my whole face, I'm using the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Finish powder in number 2 medium. I'm kind of in between 1 and 2, but I used 2 here because, I mean, 1 sometimes is just a little bit too light. I like using that underneath my eyes, but I'm pretty much like a 1.5, but there's no such shade as 1.5. So now I'm just pressing that powder in, the Laura Mercier Bake Powder, and also kind of wiping it off. And now, what are we going to do? We're going to contour. Yes, I'm contouring with Benefit Hoola, and I'm using my favorite contour brush. This is a Zoeva Luxe contour brush. I've talked about this a lot. It chisels the cheeks like 1, 2, 3. Look at that chisel. It's just so easy, and I love it. I'm also using the Tantric bronzer from Marc Jacobs, and I'm not going too heavy on the bronze because the eyes are a little bit more dramatic, and I'm doing a dramatic lip. I just wanted to leave the face kind of like not too bronze because we're not going for like a summer bronze look. Of course, there's an alarm going off outside. Typical New York problems. So I'm just bronzing up my temples, and I'm applying some MAC Peaches blush. You can do like a cranberry-ish blush, but since my lips are kind of purplish and my eyes have that cranberry look, I just wanted something peachy and a little bit of warmth since I'm not applying too much bronzer. And to smoke out my lower lash line, I'm using that M636 at first on a Kat Von D shade light eye brush, my favorite brush for underneath my eyes. And then I'm using that cranberry shade, the M846. So basically just the dark brown and then the burgundy underneath it and kind of like on top it and really buffing that out. And then this color is so pretty. It's also from Makeup Forever, and it's one of these like frosty colors, but it's more golden. So this one is in the shade, what is it? ME512. And I didn't want to do like nylon because it was just too bright for me. I wanted something a little bit more golden to match the liner. And then I'm using MAC extended play Gigablack Mascara, as always, on my lower lashes. Nothing new here. And then I'm using the... what am I doing? I'm like, what is this called? The brow definer from Anastasia in Ebony. So I've been like switching over to Ebony everything because I notice when I do like warmer colors, I walk outside and my eyebrows look really, really reddish oranges. So I went and ate a bagel and then I came back and now I'm doing my lip and I'm using the Sola look. Woo, woo. I love the Sola look. I love David. He's so awesome, so supportive since day one. This is their, I hope I don't butcher this, Depshy girl. Depshy girl. This is a collaboration with this awesome influencer, and I love this color, and I love the applicator. The applicator is really nice to like overline the lips. Obsessed. And now I'm just adding a little bit more blur. I'm pretty sure I have a coupon code with the Sola look, so if I do, I will leave it down below. It's most likely Rosita. And let's throw on some highlights. I'm using the new Jouer Citrine. I wanted to say Citrine. I don't know why, but Citrine highlight. And this is the Wayne Goss fan brush. Love. I mean, I was like shocked by how banging this highlight was. People were comparing it to Champagne Pop. I don't see that. I mean, this stuff is super buttery, like really, really soft, like the like Champagne Pop, but the color is a little different. So now to brighten underneath my eyes, I'm using MAC Shivering White. I heard this product was discontinued, but I got mine at the MAC Pro store. I want to run back and get like 5 of these because, wow, this stuff is so pigmented and it really brightened underneath my eyes. Like, I probably use a little bit too much, but that's okay. Now I'm going back in with that Jouer highlight on the nose, and I'm doing some setting of the brow. I'm using the Givenchy brow gel, which I do really like. I'm just kind of air drying my hair, and then I'm applying some MAC Give Me Sun because I can't stay away. I'm sorry, I'm so guilty, but I added some Give Me Sun, but it's still not like my typical super warm look, so I'm proud of myself. I'm using MAC Charged Water. I'm kind of covering my eyes because I don't want it to mess up my mascara, and I'm applying more of the Jouer highlight. A little trick that I do is apply some highlight, apply some Fix Plus or some spray, and then apply more highlight, and you're like glowing crazy. So I'm just seeing what I want to do with my hair, parting it. Yep, I wanted to air dry it just like that. And now I'm just cleaning up that contour with this Givenchy Prism Libre Terrafetta's Beige. It's like a setting powder. It's matte. I really like it. Underneath my eyes, it's a little bit too golden. It's a little dark for me right now because I am kind of pale. So I like using it underneath, and I'm just wiping that away. And that pretty much is the entire look. Hope you guys enjoyed this. I really love it for fall. I hope you guys fall in love with fall and try this look out and tag me if you do. I was feeling inspired. I wanted something different, so that's what I went with. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I love you so much. I'll see you in the next one. Mwah!